Hi, guys. It's me, yours truly, Beverly Sherelle Johnson, lifestyle health coach and consultant, registered nurse for over 33 years, known as the Uncommon Flexitarian, and the creator of Eat What. Eat What is my weekly program that gives you resourceful information and education as to the many USDA and FDA food safety and health concerns. Now, I just don't wish to alarm you, but I also wish to give you solutions, concrete solutions to build your immunity, to build your overall health so that you can look good, feel good, and have a more positive outlook on life. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Eat What. Now, if you are a member of Eat What, be sure to invite others and tell others about our program here so others can be informed about health and about having success in their health, wealth, and relationships, and how they can learn how to manage these parts of our being more successfully. Now, we all remember we are three-part beings. We are spiritual, mental, and physical. And therefore, we must learn how to build our health from the inside out. And when we do that, everything else falls in line as well. Well, here at Eat What, we are sure to make sure that everyone knows that this is not just for those who are vegan or vegetarian. It's for all food fairs. So it does not matter if you ascribe to a vegan, vegetarian, or omnivorous or a flexitarian like myself. It does not matter. We're here to learn about health, here to learn about how to manage our health, and of course, build our immunity and our overall health, looking good and feeling good all along the way. Don't forget to invite others. And remember, if you have ever missed a program, if you have ever missed a program, all you have to do is go to the members page. On the members page, and underneath the media tab, you can catch every program, all videos that we have done since the beginning. Under the files tab, you may also access every article that we have ever done. Now, this week, we are talking about learning and living through crisis. So let's get into it now. Learning and living through crisis on Eat What. Now, crisis. What is crisis? Most times when people think about crisis, they're thinking about something is wrong. Something is going awry, something that was going in one positive direction, all of a sudden is reversed negatively, and you are in some type of pain, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You are in some type of pain and you're looking for solutions. Well, Webster defines crisis as one of the definitions that Webster has for crisis, is that it is a turning point. Crisis is nothing more than a turning point in your life. Now, what I have done for the purposes of this program, as I have broken crisis down, the word crisis down into acronyms to help you remember how you can learn and live through crisis. And as we continue with this series through the month of April, we will learn how crisis affects us spiritually, mentally, and of course, physically. But first, let's talk about crisis. What is crisis? As I just mentioned, Webster states, one of his definitions, Webster states that crisis is a turning. There is a turning going on for better or worse. It does not necessarily mean things are going badly, although that might be your perception. According to Webster, it is a turning of events, a turning of events. So just keep that open mind that something is turning. Now, when we talk about crisis, when I'm speaking to you about crisis today, let's talk about the C in crisis. Let's talk about crisis overall. First of all, crisis, I believe, is nothing more than concentrated information. information that is coming at you so fast, coming at you so directly, so pinpoint, it is causing pain from every direction, spiritually, mentally, physically. It's causing pain in your emotions. You may not know which way to turn, and every time you're broadsided by something like this type of life event, you automatically think something is bad. Now, why would we think that way? Well, one reason why we would think that way is that our minds are basically negative. We easily think negative thoughts. We easily pursue the negative. We have to retrain our brains, retraining our minds, our mindsets toward things that are positive. Anything can look negative. Anything can be perceived as negative. But once you put it in your mind that this negative event is actually working out for your good, then your perception on finding solutions and receiving the change, the turn that is going on in your life will be a lot better. The resolutions will come a lot faster. And the solutions. Well, let's talk about crisis. Crisis, concentrated information. The C in crisis is the cause. Now, first of all, when you're in a life event and you're approaching or you are in the midst of a crisis situation, first find out the cause. C is for the cause of crisis. Now, crises appear to come out of nowhere. We're broadsided. We're actually just overwhelmed with all of the information that's coming toward us. But actually, if you look at it over time and look back in your mind about what happened to lead up to these events, there were things that you perhaps could have done to intervene to make sure that this event did not happen or did not occur in this way. You could have mitigated some circumstances. First of all, let's just be honest with ourselves and find out the cause. Was it a person? Was there a person who caused this crisis? And sometimes it is. Sometimes that person is just you. But is there a person who caused this crisis? Was there a particular activity involved that led you down the road and that you run into crisis? Was it a place, a location? People, places, and things, more so than anything else I have found out in life, lead you and they guide you to the path that where you're supposed to go. Each of us have a destiny path. Each of us has a life strategy that we are supposed to follow, not only for our health, but for the betterment of our wealth and our relationships. And when we are out of line, then things are not happening for us. Now, of course, when you're approaching crisis or when you're in crisis, it appears that everything is wrong. But keeping that positive mindset and just calming yourself and looking at the concentrated information in the way that I'm going to describe here, you can receive a better perception of everything that has gone on. And like I said, reach better solutions, setting another course and another direction for success. So the cause of crisis, people, places, and things need to be researched to find out a direct cause, a cause of the crisis. There's always something at the root. There's always something at the root of the crisis that you are now involved in. And it would behoove you to find out what that is. Now, besides cause, you have a choice. Now, like I said, the dictionary Webster said one of the definitions of crisis was that there was a turning. There's a turning that's going on. You can choose to look at this turning as negative or positive. I just spoke about that. The mindset is very, very important when you are in a crisis situation. Your perception of what you're in and what you're going through is very, very key. So crisis, it has a choice as well as a cause. When you find out the cause, you have a choice. You have a choice to determine, how am I going to view this? Is this positive? Is it negative? you have to make that decision and embed it in your mindset that this is the direction I'm going to take. If you've been paying attention to the mindset exercises that we've had here, that we've gone over in this program, then you hopefully will choose a more positive mindset and seek more solutions to the problem that you are in, the crisis that you are in. Now, the C also describes the cost. Now, whether you choose positively or negatively, no matter what your perception is, there is always a cost. There is always a cost. And it's been my personal experience, as well as the experience of many, many others, that when you have a positive mindset, when your perception is positive about what is going on, even though it has come across you broadside, it has really shocked you into wow, that is more than likely when this happens, when you think positively, the cost will not be so detrimental to you spiritually, mentally, or physically. So C in crisis: cause, choice, and cost. Now, when we talk about the R in crisis, we're talking about rebellion here, because something in your life is rebelling, and rebellion does not always have to be negative. But what rebellion is emphasizing the whole crisis event. Something has to change. Something has to change. And in that rebellion, we want to find out what is being revealed. All right. In every crisis situation, it's like a war. It's like a war that's going on. And things are revealed when pressure is applied. And crisis being concentrated information, definitely pressure is being applied. So, what is being revealed through this rebellious time in your life? What is being revealed? What you don't want to do is to just jump up and run. That's another R that's in crisis. You do not wish to just jump up and run and just vacate the situation, because you might, another R, ruin your chance for growth, ruin your chance for stability. You will not learn how to live through the crisis. So R, we're talking about rebellion. What is being revealed? You don't need to run, although if you're in a dangerous situation, a life-threatening situation, of course, get out of that. But if this is a situation where you are to think yourself through it, you don't want to run from the lessons that you need to learn. You don't want to ruin your chance for growth. That's the aura in crisis. Now the I, CRI, concentrated information. Now, when you're looking at information, what are we looking at? Information that could have been missed. What information did you have prior to this major life event that you're going through, prior to this crisis that you are experiencing? Was the information missed? Was it misapplied? Did you not see the signs? Did you ignore? These are things you have to honestly ask yourself. What happened on my end first, and then again looking toward people, places, and things. And you do that throughout this acronym of crisis: people, places, and things that could have been involved. If you're running a company, if you're running any type of organization where you are in charge, any type of group where you are in charge, and something happens, the group goes through a crisis event, this is one thing you're going to have to do critically. You're going to have to critically think your way through what is the information? What was the information that was presented presented to me? What information did I take in? What information did I apply? Was the information that I received even correct information? From what source was that information derived? These are things that you can do to help yourself, your team, your family get through crisis. So we're talking about the cause, the cost, all right, and the choice. In C, we're talking about the rebellion, the reveal, not running and not ruining your chances for growth. And in the concentrated information, find out everything that you can about what you're going through, but find out, was there anything missed that perhaps could have mitigated the circumstances that you are now experiencing. All right, moving on. We are seeking solutions. We are seeking solution based on the first three, based on the C, based on the R, based on the I. We are now seeking possible solutions that can alleviate the stress, that can alleviate the pain, that can alleviate the pressure of what we're going through. All right. And you're seeking positive solutions. And of course, when you're doing that, you're asking others. Seeking solutions involves asking others who have dealt with this situation before. Believe you me, there's nothing new under the sun, as the Bible says. There's nothing new under the sun. So if you're experiencing this, at least one other person on earth has experienced this same situation. Therefore, you need to reach out, you need to stretch out, and you need to let others know that you need help and receive guidance. Now, no decisions need to be made yet, but you need to gather the information to seek the solutions to find answers to your current crisis. All right. And that might also include mentorship. Let me just mention that. Mentorship. Community, as I just mentioned, asking questions, community mentorship, going through classes, definitely opening your mouth and letting people know I'm hurting. It might be counseling. But whatever it is, you need to seek solutions. The next I in crisis, after you have gone through the C, the R, the I, and the S, now you're going to make decisions and start the implementation of what you believe will be the first positive solution to what you're going through. Now, the I is implementation. The second I is implementation of the information that you have gathered, going through the C, the R, the I, and the S. When you start implementing, you don't implement everything at once. That's one thing a lot of people do, and it's not healthy. It's not productive. And then you end up in a worse situation because now you just compounded solutions and on top of problems, and you haven't really figured out which problem to attack first. So in your crisis, you're going to implement a solution that has a desired target on a problem that is being revealed, something that was revealed in the crisis. Your targeted response here is really, really important. It is an intervention of types. It is an intervention of sorts that helps you get to your end goal, which is having better success in life and, of course, learning how to live through this. Now, again, this is the implementation stage. A lot of people want to rush through implementation. You can't slap a Band-Aid on it, but you have to prioritize. You have to triage which problems are first, target that individual problem with a solution. Again, if you're finding out that there's an individual who's the root cause of the crisis that you are in, and it not just on first defense perhaps, but according to the guidelines of your company, of your institution, if you're finding out that this is a continual problem, then of course some of that might be due to be remove that individual and then resettle, re-engage and implement the solutions. But you have to target what is first. What is first in that you desire to target? What is the first thing you desire to do? When you're in a crisis, it does not have to be negative. It can be positive. If you're finding something that is working, but it just perhaps got out of hand a bit, then this is something else you can implement. A scale down. It was good results, great results, but maybe it multiplied out of control and you need to bring it back in. Well, doing so in this phase of implementation, based on the C, the R, the I, and the S previously, you can now target and implement focusing on one strategy. And that's the next S that we have there. The final S that we have is strategy, setting a new course of direction, having more success, having more success than you had previously going into this crisis event. All right. So this is the acronym that I've come up with, crisis, that has helped serve me, that has helped serve people who work with me in coaching and consultation. This is the acronym that I have used, and I hope it helps you too. I hope it helps you too. We all need to approach life's crisis events from a different perspective, a perspective of positivity, a perspective that opens our minds and our emotions up to finding solutions instead of panicking, which pushes solutions away from us. We need to find out. We need to find out what is being revealed in this crisis event. Remember, crisis is concentrated information. Concentrated information. Information that is good. Is it reliable? That's something else you need to find out. That what is revealed, is this reliable information? Is the information reliable? Is the source reliable? This is a time of rebellion. This is a time of turning, and you don't have to turn with it. It will continue to turn with or without you. But getting involved and not being passive about it really does help. Really does help you focus on finding the end result, which is setting a strategy. Before we get to the strategy, of course, we must find out what was the problem with the information. Well, was there information that we missed? Was there information that we could have used and maybe thought it was not important at the time? Was the information, again, was it reliable? From what source did it come? Was it properly applied? Was it properly applied? These are things that we can do. We can do to help learn and live through crisis. All right, seeking solutions. Seeking solutions is always good, but it has to be done in order. In order. After the C, the R, the I, then we seek solutions. And the timetable for that might be longer than what you care to anticipate. What you should have learned before you get to this first S in crisis, what you should have learned is which problems that come out that need to be dealt with first, which problems need to be targeted first when you're seeking solutions. So you could target that problem first, and then tackling others that are less important than the one that you are tackling at the time. Triage your information and triage your solutions to target that information. Of course, implementation of the solutions that you have found. Implementation is so important. Particularly if there was misdirection or misapplication of information before, you have to make sure that all the information that you have now is being properly implemented so that maximum results and the best strategy, the last S in crisis, is that the best strategy can be reached. The best strategy can be reached, and you can go forward for success in your personal life, your professional life, and those who are around you. Well, guys, I just want to talk to you a little bit about crisis, Of course, our entire world over the past 2 years, and a little bit over 2 years, have gone through the coronavirus crisis, the major impact of coronavirus. And it's not over yet. This is 2022. It is not over. We are just able to move along from that initial worldwide pandemic crisis, And you can see in the way that things happened, you can see, was this type of formula followed? The cause, the cost, the choices that were made, the rebellion, the revelation, okay? And there was some panicking, but then wiser mindsets were able to bring calm upon the situation so that we didn't ruin ourselves. There were things that were implemented, that were put in place immediately. All right. After that, we can see that there was information that was concentrated that had to be with the help of many organizations, that this was a worldwide pandemic. There was a lot of information coming in. There were heads of department, heads of organization, as we well know, heads of government that were involved day and night seeking these solutions. So the solutions and the implementation were coming quite a bit faster than perhaps would come in your own organization, in your own group, in your own personal life, because there were more people working on the problem. Because it was a worldwide, it is, and it still is the worldwide effects are still being felt, still being felt. All right. The solutions that were sought were also a conglomerate of all heads of government. And as you well know, just looking at the history of what has gone on for over the past 2 years and what is going on now, the solutions have been put in place, and they are constantly reevaluating these solutions to find effectiveness, the best effective treatments that can be going on, the best effective practices that can go on to prevent another event. All right, to prevent another event. After implementation of what was learned previously, success, and success is still evolving. I just want to put that out there. Nothing is over yet. Nothing is over yet. And I've said that before. When the first when the first identification of the coronavirus, I've said this so many times in many different programs. I had said that the virus will continue to evolve, because that's what viruses do. The virus wasn't like I was prophetically speaking or anything. It was just the fact that the virus would act as viruses do. They change their form, they replicate, they change their form, they just do all types of things, and we just needed to wait on some information and not just try to shut the door and say, okay, we found one solution. Of course, now we see there's at least three strains, at least three known strains, of coronavirus, and perhaps there are more to come. It would not surprise me if there were more. It would not surprise me. Now, of course, after implementation of solutions that you have sought, then you can set a different course or strategy for success so that you can move on from this situation, and you can, of course, document document what you have learned and what you have, of course, be grateful that what you have lived through in this crisis. Again, you can apply this. This is the same formula I apply to the clients who work with me through counseling, through coaching. And if you would like to apply this, feel free to apply this to your own personal life. It helps with your health, your wealth, relationships, everything you have to deal with in life. And if you just pump your brakes, take a breath, and connect yourself with finding solutions instead of panicking. I'm telling you, this formula works. It works. I have found it to work. And many other people have found it to work too. They have found it to work, receiving positive results in everything that they have done. All right. So please utilize the information here. Let me know. You can always reach out to me at betterlivingwithplants@gmail.com. That is the email address for Eat-What, betterlivingwithplants@gmail.com. You can always direct message me at Beverly Sherelle Johnson. Sherelle is spelled Cherelle. Beverly Sherelle Johnson. You always direct message me there. Of course, you can always reach out to me through the Facebook group as well. We're going to talk more about crisis next week. How it affects us spiritually, mentally, and physically. We're going to talk more about crisis next week. Just laying some foundation here about crisis. All righty. So take this information, share, implement it into your own life. Let me know how things are going for you. My name is Beverly Sherrill Johnson, and we will talk about crisis again next week on another edition of Eat What. Bye-bye now.